Hi folks, this is pop culture historian Dave Sundstrom. One of the things that I love about the silver age of television are the stories that surface about actors and actresses who act selflessly on behalf of others. I find this so inspiring because the entertainment industry these days seems to be full of inflated egos and a what's in it for me attitude. So I am very happy to report that I've stumbled across another story, this time from the TV show Gilligan's Island, and in particular the first mate that the island was named after. I am, of course, talking about actor Bob Denver. While he was the titular character on this critically panned but much beloved sitcom that only ran for 3 seasons, Bob was never one to have much of an ego. He was already a veteran actor in the industry, having co-starred on The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis as hippie beatnik Maynard G. Krebs. While Bob was flattered to be the center of attention on a show like Gilligan's Island, he recognized the importance of being surrounded by a talented cast. During the first season of Gilligan's Island, however, the ever so humble opening theme song seemed to create a hierarchy of importance by including most of the characters by name in the song. Unfortunately, Dawn Wells, who played sweet and sexy country girl Mary Ann, and Russell Johnson, who played the professor, seemed to be relegated to a second tier and were only referred to as "and the rest" in the theme song. This really got Bob's goat, and as you might guess, it didn't make Dawn and Russell feel very good either. Anyone who watched the show knows that all of the cast members were equally important. It also didn't help that at the time it seemed like fiery redhead Tina Louise, who played the aptly named movie star Ginger, was getting the lion's share of the press's attention. Even way back then, if you put a gorgeous lady on your cover, you were bound to sell more copies of your magazine. But let's get back to Bob and his concern for Dawn and Russell. By the time the first season was drawing to a conclusion, Gilligan's Island was a bona fide hit, and Bob felt like he had the clout necessary to go to creator and producer Sherwood Schwartz and make a demand. This is what he wanted. He told Sherwood that they needed to redo the song so that all of the characters were treated equally, and that meant squeezing in the names of everyone. At first, Sherwood and the production team fought the idea, claiming that it would cost too much money to get everyone back into the studio. This made Bob, who is normally a very friendly and amiable feller, quite furious. Feeling that he had no other options available to him, Bob told them that he would pursue invoking a clause in his contract that allowed him to decide where his name would show up in the opening credits, and that he wanted his name to show up at the very end, after "and the rest." At that point, Sherwood understood just how important this was to Bob, and he agreed to make the change. Hey, I've got quite a bit more to share with you, including another example of when Bob went to bat for his castmates, but I've got to let you know that if you stick around to the very end of this video, there's a surprise vintage television commercial featuring Bob that I know you are going to absolutely love. As a matter of record, the Season 1 theme song was sung by a folk group called the Wellingtons, while the revised theme song from Seasons 2 and 3 weren't credited to any particular group or band. Years later, Russell Johnson would say that it had been performed by a group called the Eligibles. And as I mentioned earlier, this wouldn't be the last time that Bob would go to bat for the entire cast. There was the issue of the stagnant and very, very stinky water in the studio lagoon, which was nothing more than a pond built on the lot next to a busy freeway. That water got so bad that the actors hated being in any scenes that involved them getting in it or even near it. Ultimately, it was Bob that stood up to the producers and made them address the issue. Over the years until his passing, Bob remained close friends with both Russell and especially Dawn, who has said that it wasn't until years later, after the cancellation of the show, that she and Russell became aware of the actions that Bob took on their behalf because, well, Bob just wasn't one of those guys that went around telling people about the good things that he did. He was, simply put, a very kind and extremely humble man. His actions also tell me that in the age-old Mary Ann versus Ginger debate, Bob had made his decision. How about you? When it comes to Ginger or Mary Ann, who's your favorite? Let me know in the comments section of this video, and while you're at it, if you enjoyed learning about Bob Denver today, please click on that little thumbs up icon. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. I talk about music, movies, and mostly TV from decades gone by. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Let's party.
Touring in 1989, McDonald's double cheeseburger is just 89 cents.
I find that hard to believe.
Believe it. We're celebrating with a big taste of 2 all-beef patties and golden melted cheese.
Good grub.
Good double cheeseburger, and it's just 89 cents.
May I say, this is going to be a lovely year.
Thank you, Eddie.
So start 89
Come on.
with a McDonald's double cheeseburger for just 89 cents.
And I get change back from $1, I think.